How's it going, Oaks, and welcome back to the Fight Scene YouTube channel. And today we are going to be looking at what happened last night for UFC Baku in Azerbaijan. Now, it wasn't quite the card I thought it was going to be. I think wasn't the card many people thought it was going to be. It didn't quite produce the action I think we all thought it was going to in terms of finishes and whatnot. But yeah, we'll look at that. And then, of course, there's other big news going on in the MMA world. Jon Jones has retired. I think we all saw this coming. I think we were all hoping this was going to happen. But yeah, let's get down to it. Really, Jon Jones, I think there's a lot of conspiracy theories. I think he's known for a while he was going to retire. And either he didn't want to admit it to himself, or he didn't want to go through with it, or Dana was trying to convince him to stay. Oaks are having conspiracies about all sorts, but at the end of the day, I think Jones is known for a while he was going to retire, and he just held up the heavyweight division. But anyways, we'll maybe talk about that a little bit more later. But for now, let's look at UFC Baku. Okay, so guys, 2 finishes across 12 fights. 2 finishes, Oaks. And those 2 only came in the main card as well, which is crazy because usually the prelims has a lot of finishes. So, Oaks, it was just first fight of the night. Okay, let's just get into it. First fight of the night, Hamdi Abdelwahab against Muhammad Usman. How the hell has Hamdi Abdelwahab popped for PEDs before? Or steroids, whatever it was. It's like it's a fat night, bro. Anyways, but basically, Oaks, this fight went as expected. Snooze fest. I did bet on the underdog Muhammad Usman, and he did come through. He had some moments in the second and third round that were just better than Hamdi overall. Landed bigger damage, and it was an exciting moment or two, but it wasn't a very exciting fight altogether. But yeah, I don't think Oaks really expected it to be that epic, to be honest. Moving on, Tagir Ulanbekov against Azat Maksum. Oaks, Tagir Ulanbekov with one of the greatest bits of takedown defense I've ever seen. If you don't know, he just grabbed the fence so well at the perfect moment to deny Azat Maksum getting a takedown. I did have Ulanbekov on this one. I do think he got a bit lucky with the decision. I think it could have gone either way. 2 judges, Oaks. 2 judges had a 30-27 to Ulanbekov, which is just, if there's any clearer indication of hometown bias, I don't think so. So, yeah, Ulanbekov coming away with the decision win, of course. Then we had back-to-back in the women bantamweight division. Alexieva against Siguya. Oaks, Alexieva, I think everyone thought she was going to knock out Siguya, who had been knocked out by Melissa Dixon, who's in the next fight. But Alexieva was getting pieced up by Siguya. Siguya was throwing the same 1-2 combo the whole fight, and it was landing every single time. Alexieva just chin up, getting cracked consistently. So also kind of went how you would have expected. It didn't go how you would have expected because Siguya just pieced her up for 3 rounds. Alexieva had her moments, but wasn't good enough. So big underdog win there for Siguya. She was quite a big underdog, I think. And then another shocker. Oaks, I feel like betting on the women's fights is the worst thing you've ever done. And I know it from personal experience because I did it last night and they both were wrong. But anyways, Daria Zeleznyakova, whatever, against Melissa Dixon. Thought Dixon was going to knock her out, to be completely honest, or at least win the fight. But Dixon also just got pieced up. This was a rematch between these two, and Zeleznyakova came away with the decision win. Also not a very exciting fight. Had its moments, but throughout it was just pretty mediocre. And the fighters slowed down as it got to round 3 and so. Next one, Ismail Nordiev versus Park Jun-yong, the Iron Turtle, and he has that name for a reason, guys. This Oak is an absolute beast. He's an absolute legend. Illegal knee landed by Nordiev in the second round. Park Jun-yong's eye was like so fucked up, Oaks, and he could have easily taken the DQ win against Nordiev, but he didn't. He took his time and he got back in that ring, and then he dominated the fight and won it by unanimous decision. Nordiev 2 points deducted for that illegal knee, which is crazy. Ref said it was one for the illegal knee and one because he cut him open. So he's got to like even the fight up a little bit. But yeah, crazy stuff. Then Nadia lost a whole bunch of aura because he ran and jumped on top of the cage and started celebrating. Absolute schmuck. Get him out of the UFC. Then our main fight on the prelim cards, Ko Seok-hyun against Oban Elliott. Oaks, Ko absolutely dominated Oban Elliott. It was ridiculous. Oban Elliott was like being seen as a huge prospect at the moment in the welterweight division. He got halted big. Fair play to him. He posted on Instagram. He took the loss well. Humble guy. And he just said, you know what, it hurts. And I got dominated, but we moved. But yeah, he was nowhere. Ko took him to the ground and held him there. It was a pretty boring fight, to be honest, because Ko kind of just held control time, but he dominated him. It was bad. Not how I expected, not how many expected it to go at all. Moving on to our main card, which had some banging fights, had some potential for bangers, but yeah, basically, let's get into it. Muhammad Naimov against Bogdan Grad. I took Bogdan Grad as the underdog just for fun, just because I know what kind of fighter he is. And this was a pretty good fight against Naimov, and he definitely, I think he definitely won a round, maybe even arguably two. You know, it was a very close fight. I do think Naimov did edge it slightly though. But Bogdan Grad put up such a good fight. It was a good fight to start off the main card. Had lots of action, had its moments. So yeah, I didn't mind this one at all. It was a good opener to the card. Naimov obviously dangerous in the featherweight division now. He's got some really good wins behind him. So something big could be next for him. I just want to check quickly. I mean, I don't think they'll have updated rankings or anything. Oh, well, he wasn't even ranked. In the featherweight division is Muhammad Naimov. However, he has got some really solid wins, so I think he should be getting a ranked opponent next. Calvin Kattar, Dan Ige, David Onama, Yusuf Zalal. I mean, there's some exciting guys there who he could definitely fight. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, he's moving up the ranks good. Bogdan Grad, also very exciting fighter, good fighter. Couple more wins for lower level opponents, and he'll be right back up there. But yeah, solid fight. Two solid fighters. Gets a thumbs up. Okay, next fight. This fight of the night. These Oaks. If you need any indication of how boring a card is, it's when two Oaks get 100k bonuses because they take both fight of the night like bonuses, performance bonuses. That's because there's no other fucking performance. Basically, Nazim Sadikov against Nicholas Motta was insane. Coming into this fight, I think Sadikov had something like 4 first-round finishes, and Motta had something like 3 first-round like losses by KO. So this was always going to be an exciting one. Round 1 was insane. Sadikov almost got dropped, or not like just dropped, but he was getting pieced up. Some other refs would have stopped it. He wasn't defending for a while. It was brutal from Motta. But Sadikov sucked it up and he kept going and he just hammered it back at Motta. It was insane. And then second round starts and we get 4 minutes of these Oaks just back Oaks in the pocket and just just dirty boxing. It was epic. Such a great fight. It's a shame it had to come to an end, but it was a cool finish in the end. Sadikov backed up Motta against the fence and just caught him with that sweet, sweet chin music. Banging fight. Both secured 100k bonus. Well deserved. Keen to see these guys both back in action. Then the fan favorite Mikdebek Orolbai took on Tofik Musayev, the hometown boy. And this kind of went as expected in a way. Orolbai heavy favorite coming into this. You know, he's such a durable fighter, such a strong fighter. It was an interesting fight. So it ended in submission at the end of round 1, 4 minutes 35 into the fight. So 25 seconds to go. Via, I don't know if it was rear naked choke or what, but I can't even remember. It must have been rear naked choke. But anyways, Orolbai, he wrestled a lot. He was very wrestle heavy against Musayev shooting. When he was on the feet, Musayev was landing on him though. Like he landed a couple solid punches on Orolbai, and Orolbai shot pretty instantly. So I think he didn't feel like having another war and getting destroyed like his face. he was keen to get this fight over with. So when he got Musayev to the ground, he was pretty dominant. Musayev did well, got up a few times, but Orobai at the end of the day managed to keep him there, landed some good ground and pound, and then set up his choke. Was it? I need to check now if it was in fact a rear naked choke, because I do think it was a rear naked choke. What does it say? It just says submission here. Okay, well, it's not showing me what Orobai. So Orobai. Sorry, X. This is taking a little bit longer than I expected. But anyways, Orobai, he's now it was a catchweight bout. So Orobai is usually a lightweight. This was at 165, I think the catchweight was. Which is kind of crazy that he's a lightweight and they're fighting 10 pounds over for catchweight. Not crazy in terms of the fact that they weigh that much, because a lot of Oaks weigh that much. But, it was a Kimura. That's right. There we go. Yeah, I remember now. It was a he almost fucking broke the Oak's arm. It was pretty gnarly. But yeah, Orobai is obviously a lightweight, but 165, he is big, and he looked significantly bigger against his opponent. But is he too big for lightweight? He might have to move up to 170, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I could be keen to see him fight in the rankings pretty soon. I just don't think there's any fights available in the rankings at the moment, if I'm being honest. So he might have to wait. He might have to fight another one or two unranked guys, get some more good wins under his belt. But he's definitely a future prospect. Oh, he's not really a future prospect because he is pretty old. But I think he needs one more unranked fight, and then he can maybe get into the rankings. But yeah, he's certainly a cool fighter, 14-2. He's really well-rounded, really good all-round. And yeah, fan favorite. Oaks love him. Moving on to our third last bout of the night in the heavyweight division, Curtis Blades against Rizvan Kuniev. Curtis Blades, who is ranked number 4, I believe, in the heavyweight division. No, 5. He might move up now, but he's currently ranked 5. Fighting a guy making his debut who's roided to the brim. Okay? Kuniev has been popped for so much shit. Blades fights him. Good fight. Curtis apparently popped his knee in the first round. Like he said, he heard something pop, which is usually probably meniscus or something like that. But he kept fighting through it. It was a good fight. Curtis used his ground game decently well. Kuniev did manage to get up. Kuniev was dominating the stand-up. He did land heavy strikes. So he didn't even land more strikes. Curtis Blade landed 56 significant. He landed 45 significant. But Kuniev's strikes were heavy on Curtis, and they were doing visible damage. And then at the end of the day, Curtis, with 5 minutes of control time and 2 successful takedowns, managed to edge the split decision victory. Oaks were not happy about it. I don't know what you guys feel about it. I'm happy Curtis won because I picked him. But yeah, it could have easily gone to Kuniev. I was very suspicious. Not suspicious, but I was very surprised in a way to see Curtis come away with it. But I think, it's a split decision, can go anyway. Thank goodness it wasn't a unanimous, because if it was unanimous for Curtis, that would just be crazy. Anyways, co-main event. Oh, actually, Curtis Blades, where does he go from here? He's ranked 5. John Jones obviously is just retired. So Aspinall versus Cyril Gane versus Cyril Gane will probably happen. Blades versus Volkov's probably waiting for title. Blades versus Pavlovich could be a pretty cool fight. Maybe. Pavlovich would probably spark him, indeed. Anyways, moving on, lightweight division. Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Did not go how I expected, Oaks. Fiziev dominated Bahamondes for a unanimous decision win, 30-27 across the board. He outstruck him by more than 20 strikes total and 10 significant. Yeah, Fiziev looked insane. He looked really sharp. He looked good. Bahamondes, as always, was throwing those spinning kicks, those fast kicks, all that, spinning wheel kicks, everything like that. And Fiziev, as Oaks have seen him do with his matrix, he flipped and just dodged all of it. He looked really clean. He looked great. And then he even got 4 takedowns, had some good control, some good ground and pound. So it really was pretty dominant for Fiziev. He looked really, really good and almost showed there's levels, His Gaethje fights, one on short notice, the other one, He didn't look too bad. He just, obviously, he did lose, though, by unanimous decision, but shows it is a big step up in competition. Bahamonde is not even ranked, fighting Fiziev. He's ranked 11th now. He might go back up again. But Bahamonde, yeah, he really didn't look like he's usually looked, where he's so dangerous and dominates the fight. Fiziev was in control most of the time. But it was a pretty decent fight. I didn't think this one was ending in a finish, to be honest, with both of these guys. But I was hoping for a good striking matchup, which we got for the most part. So was not a bad one at all. Then our main event in the light heavyweight division, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree Jr. Khalil Rountree proved to a lot of Oaks, including myself, that he can still do it, taking the dub against Jamal Hill 50-45 on every scorecard, or 49-46 on one. But he dominated Jamal. He dropped him multiple times. He landed such heavy shots. He fucked Jamal's legs up big time. Like, Jamal was fighting out of regular usually in his southpaw. His right leg was absolutely mangled, and then Khalil started working on the left leg as well. It was just redonkulous stuff. Jamal got absolutely, silenced, dominated. He did bleed. Khalil didn't bleed. Jamal did. So tough there. But yeah, Rountree Jr., obviously he's decently old now, but he's still up there. What's he ranked? 7. He'll probably go. I don't know if he'll go up after that, but he could easily win another fight, then fight for title, something like that. Look, he did beat number 4 ranked Jamal Hill, so I don't know. These days, Oaks all just want to fight for the title as soon as they win one fight, which is kind of dodgy, but it is how things are these days. But yeah, Khalil definitely dominated Jamal and proved he's worthy of another title shot. And he also proved Jamal Hill is just washed, and he is, I don't know how the Oak became champ. Pretty lucky. He's got power in his hands, but that's it. Like, no technique, no good boxing or good kicks or anything. Like, he just looks for that kind of one-punch knockout, throwing throwing 1-2s. So yeah, Jamal, you can go fight down in the rankings, buddy. And then we'll look back at our co-main for Fiziev. What could be next for him now? Obviously, he's ranked 11, but he might go up after that. Who knows? But you've got Moicano Dariush fighting. Gamrot's just fought. Poirier Holloway now going to fight. It's tough. Because, Arman's probably also waiting for a title, I don't think Arman is going to bother fighting anyone else before a title. Oliveira obviously fighting Topuria. Gaethje will wait for another title shot, or he'll retire. Dustin's going to retire after he fights Max. Fiziev, maybe rematch against Gamrot. I don't know if Oaks want to see that, though. Dan Hooker's still there. Dan Hooker versus Fiziev. I don't know. There's a couple matchups for him. I don't know if he'll take another Oak ranked low now that he dominated Bahamondes, to be honest. But yeah, lightweight division needs Dustin to retire. To be honest, I love Dustin. I'm keen. He's my favorite fighter. I can't wait for his retirement fight and all that. But it will be good once he goes, clear it out a little bit. Once Gaethje goes, once even Hooker. Hooker's probably still got quite a lot left in him, but Dariush goes, Moicano goes. Those Oaks are all up there. Once they go, the lightweight division will kind of see a big shift. But yeah, Grant Dawson, Joel Alvarez, you've got Oaks who are coming in. Chandler must go. Paddy's coming up. So the lightweight division, I reckon, in the next 6 months to a year is going to be really shifted, and I think it'll be so cool, to be honest. I'm very keen to see a sort of new shift of UFC, of all the OGs retiring from the sport now, and you get all the newcomers in. It's pretty cool when you get some fresh blood, exciting guys and stuff like that. And we've got a lot of exciting guys these days, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Oaks, that is UFC Baku. Very upset that it wasn't a whole bunch of finishes and firefights and stuff. We had one epic fight on the main card that got a finish, and we had a submission finish, and then we had a few good fights, but nothing really that was holy shit, fight of the year. Well, I guess we did have a fight of the year contender, but there wasn't anything that was holy shit, this card is better than, it's insane. Yeah, it's upsetting because when you get a card that's on a normal, nice time to watch, like a London card or a Baku card or Abu Dhabi or whatever, and then the card looks good and it just doesn't deliver. It's bleak because you're going straight back to getting up at 4 a.m. or staying up through the night. So these things don't happen very often, so it is bleak that it doesn't quite materialize as great as you want it to be. But I'm still thankful it was still a lekker watch. And we've got Abu Dhabi coming up soon, so that's another nicely timed fight, which I would be really keen for. And if the UFC goes back to London anytime soon, I know they didn't for the last card, but if they go back to London and make it like a 1 a.m. thing again, like for American time, I'll lose it, bro. But anyways, yeah, I'm keen for Abu Dhabi. That's going to be sick. That's got so many banging fights, and it's at a great time, so that is going to be epic. But yeah, Oaks, Jon Jones retires. Puts up a long tweet about his retirement, everything like that. And it's just sad, Oaks. It's sad to see who most in the MMA community consider the greatest combat athlete of all time, greatest mixed martial artist of all time. And his retirement comes in the form of a huge layover from his last fight, where all he does is hint at maybe fighting, maybe retiring, ducks Tom Aspinall, wastes Aspinall's last 11 months of his career for no reason, makes him defend the interim title, and now he retires via tweets. He doesn't even get to do it in the octagon. He doesn't even get the UFC to actually, celebrate his insane career, regardless of the stuff outside of the octagon. It's just bleak, bro. At the end of the day, Jon Jones is an awful dude, but for what he did for the sport and what he did for the UFC, he should have got a better send-off than that. But I think, you make your bed, you lie in it, Oaks. He, at the end of the day, tarnished his own legacy by all the shit he's been pulling the last year. So he's going to be remembered as the Oak who got retired by Aspinall without fighting him. Aspinall said it, and he did it. True to his word. Now we finally have a good heavyweight champ in office who's going to be fighting often, provided he doesn't get injured. The heavyweight division could be looking up. Unfortunately, we've still got fatties ranked in 10 and onwards, but top 10 could be seeing a good shift, hopefully. But yeah, Jon Jones, you messed up the end of your career, bro. I think Oaks will still consider him the greatest of all time because of how good he was and just his legacy and everything. But it's tough, man. I think at the end of the day, we will see Oaks who end up having a so-called better career than Jon Jones. If Ilia Topuria retires without losing, you know how insane that Oaks record will be. Knocking out Volk, knocking out Holloway, if he knocks out Charles, if he fights Islam and wins. There is potential for Oaks to come through who have a better career than Jon Jones in terms of competition, who fight more often than Jon Jones, who stay out of trouble, out of the octagon, and who leave with a good legacy. So I think as time goes on and years go by, I think Oaks will start to think, Jon Jones is not the GOAT. This guy is. Yeah. And in true Jon Jones fashion, he's now got a warrant out for arrest in Albuquerque. So, what the hell's wrong with this Oak, dude? Apparently it was some sort of drive away. What do you call it? Like fleeing the scene. Like he got into a car crash and then apparently ran away on foot, and he was only clothed. He was naked from the waist down or something like that. And apparently it seemed like he was heavily intoxicated or under the influence. So Jon Jones is enjoying his retirement. Shout out to JBJ. But yeah, bleak for the brother that he messed with his own legacy, because he had such a huge fan base and everyone knew about like the Jon Jones glazes and things like that. And it was justified. But now I think as Father Time comes, Oaks will start to be like, who's this Jon Jones? Anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Not many. It's not very influential what I really have to say. That's kind of nice though, because at least no one can really hate me for saying these opinions, because not many Oaks watch it. But yeah, that's what's been going on. It it was still a fun UFC Baku card to watch. I did still enjoy it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Unfortunately, this coming week, I've got a little sup exam on Thursday. So I can't even throw out mad content for UFC 317. I will try to post as much as possible, but best believe come like Thursday night, Friday, even Saturday morning, we'll be on it, and we'll be keen and frothing to watch UFC 317. It's going to be an absolute joy. But anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for whopping. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, all them lekker things. Yeah, and I will check you in the next one.